So this is a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom with an extra toilet. And actually, since we've had the house, the plans changed twice. Originally, it was a bit, let's come in, just do the bedrooms, see what we can work with, do a bit of furniture. Once we got the keys, we kind of realised actually there's a bit more problem to sort, particularly in the kitchen. And I think always understanding the landlord, and there's a budget in place and trying to deliver for them. We're always working to a budget and trying to keep things cost effective, but I think with this one, it was a bit of a, look, we can deliver it on a budget, but we really do need to do a couple of extra bits. Sometimes when I'm talking to a landlord, we might have a property that's not quite ready to be rented out. As you can see in this one, this is where we've done a bit of a renovation to bring it up to spec. Now we've got the other side of things where the property is ready. That property comes to us straight away from me. The landlord's onboarded, we pass it over to the team. Any new landlord will typically speak to me first. I'll go through all the different services that we offer, maybe explain what service might be more ideal for what they're looking, the goals for the property, I guess, and maybe the services that probably won't be as well. We try and be as honest as we can in a way that's essentially going to benefit the use case of us, but benefit the property as well, as it's ultimately an investment, so we want to make the best scenario happen for them. I guess the first port of call for me is to decide, is this property fit for management now, or does it need some work doing, whether it's a change in strategy that could be going from students to professionals or professionals to students. Does it need some repairs, compliance, stuff like that? Does attention need to be put into that side of the property, or does it need a renovation? If it's ready to go, typically we'll just hand it over to the team and we'll assign it to a portfolio manager. They'll take it over from there. But if it's not ready, i.e. it needs a renovation, that's where I'll deliver the renovation and then we'll hand it over to the team. The refurb could be anything from, at the moment it's a 5-bed, let's make it a 6, let's open up the kitchen, living room, all your bells and whistles, everything, make the property as lovely as possible and a full scale renovation. Or it might need, everything's fine, but it just needs a little bit of modernisation, redecoration, paint the walls, enhance the marketing of the property. The team will be kept up to date because I think it's important, if it's going to be part of their portfolio, it's important that they're kept up to date. It's just for context more than anything, so when they do get the keys and start managing it, they're at least aware of what's gone on to get to this stage.
When we onboard a new landlord, obviously that's what Joe is responsible for, and then it kind of comes over to the team, which essentially I manage. So I make sure like the general operations are running as it should be, like the day-to-day, you know, like I'll lead the majority of the team meetings and I'll kind of sort any questions, queries, help support the team, you know, one-to-one catch-ups every month, and I kind of manage the general operations to make sure it's going as it should, but I also help in terms of renovations as well. So Joe will do the bulk of it, but then I might assist with the last few little bits of ordering the furniture, deciding on colours and spec and stuff. So it kind of comes from Joe taking on the house, doing the full, so like knocking down walls, booking in the kitchen, organising the trades, to me getting it almost housemate ready, and then making sure then it's passed on to, well, now Paige with the right information so we can go live and fill it.
The most funky part about this house is probably, this is a little hallway and then you've got your 2 bathrooms at the back. Probably not the most ideal scenario. This is the kitchen, that's your living room, this is the kitchen, they're your 2 bathrooms. So it's a little bit different to what you'd really want. But again, this is just an example of sometimes what we're working with, and when we can only ever show like the end product, it's understanding that actually this conversation began with like a £5,000 budget. It then went to 10,000 and now we're probably on 15,000, but starting to knock these down and reconfigure the layout and everything else just isn't in the scope. The landlord bought the property expecting it to be operational from day one. I think he's had it now for about 2 years and it's never really worked. He gave it to us and there was only 2 tenants in here at the time, and I think for us, the first time I came round, it was clear to see why. Someone's configured it before this landlord bought it and just not really thought about it. In the basement, there's a bedroom. So technically it's a 6-bedroom house. Licensing come round to have a look at the house and inspect, and they said you can't have a bedroom that opens up onto a kitchen, which is kind of obvious when you're in that space and you're developing properties, but someone's done it and then sold it to these guys, and then they've realised actually we can't do this. So what was a 6-bedroom is now a 5-bedroom. There's a bedroom down here. From a fire safety point of view, if there's a fire, you need a protected route to get out. You can't open up into the kitchen because that's clearly a potential fire risk in the kitchen itself, so there'll be no way out for this person. That's the tough part, I guess. Like, this is a benefit to this property. It's been tanked, so it's watertight. The stairs would have to open up that way, not that way. That's a big change. Landlord right now is in a position where the property's never worked for them since they bought it. So that the immediate focus is to essentially get rent in. Probably see proof that it's gonna start working. I think once they've got a year or two behind them where they see that the property's working, then they'll go, right, okay, how can we make this a long-term investment?
I'm Paige, I'm the Lettings and Operations Coordinator. Once Joe has secured a property with a landlord for us to manage and rent out to students or young professionals, then kind of gets passed on to me and Liv. So Liv tells me what property it is, she'll tell me where, like show me the photos, send me the photos over. I am in charge of organising the adverts going live. So I'm the one who posts them all over the website. I put them on Spare Room. I'm in charge of just all of the advertising. I coordinate all of the viewings to our portfolio managers, because obviously our portfolio managers look after certain houses between them. So I will coordinate their viewings and stuff and look at their diaries and go, people can have a viewing here, here and here. And I send them off on their way.
Joe will basically decide who's going to manage the property. There's a lot of stuff that we need to have legally, so like certificates, documents. We need to make sure that the house is compliant basically, so we need all that. We need all the existing tenant information, if there's any vacant rooms, just what's the situation on the house in general, and then that it'll come to us to actually action it.
So once we've taken a property on, there can be like a few different scenarios. So the property could have tenants in situ when we take over management of them. So you could just be actively managing the house when we first got it. You could be on the reverse and we have a property, it's, you know, a 5-bed house and it's got 5 empty rooms. So the first step would be, obviously the portfolio manager of that property will then go and do the viewing so they get to know the house a little bit more. The portfolio manager really comes into play.
If it's filled house, introduce ourselves to the landlord, and then we'll usually organise a time to go and complete like a health check. So that's just where we can go and figure out the property for ourselves, meet the tenants, introduce ourselves to the tenants, see if there's any outstanding maintenance that we need to now sort. Same with like, if the previous agent just didn't have cleaners, obviously that's something we do in all of our houses, so we'll get cleaners if it's a professional home.
And then just from there, you sort of like get to know the existing housemates, understand their situation, how long they've been in the house, how long do they plan to stay, and then all of that just helps you find new housemates to go into the rooms if it's vacant.
We do fire alarm checks and emergency lighting checks, and then every 3 months we do property health check. So that's just a full health check. We go into all the rooms, communal areas, note down any maintenance that might not have been reported, or check up on maintenance.
My name's Dave and I do the maintenance for Cosi. I come in every morning and we go through the jobs, what's going to be happening. There's jobs that are priority. We've got to go through them and see which we're going to do first. It could be beginning of a refurb, putting a new kitchen in, and general maintenance, resealing showers, leaks in the houses, anything really. Obviously, if you don't get the maintenance done, the tenants aren't happy, and if they're not happy, they'll move out and go somewhere else and go with a different company. You want to get in and out as soon as you can, but at the same time, you've got to keep the standards high. Take as long as it takes, but obviously try and hurry up.
This is the later stage of another refurb that we've got going on at the moment. As you can see, it's a little bit further on than the other one. We're probably 2 or 3 weeks ahead. It's not far from being done now. We've got a little bit more scope to go a little bit further. It's a bigger property. It's probably, the layout's a little bit better. It gives us a bigger budget to make a better difference more than anything. We've replaced what was in. So in terms of a layout, nothing's changed there. We've replaced kitchens, bathrooms, everything. Everything's new in the whole house, but we've not changed any of the layouts. I mean, we've put a really nice spec, good quality kitchen in. It's a good house. I think it's going to do really well. I think we've actually potentially, I'd have to speak to the team, but I think we've already secured someone for next year, which is a big win.
I'd say the most important to get right is to show the housemates that we really care. And that's in terms of maintenance, in terms of if we're finding new people to join the house, if it's just our general like care of the property, in terms of like having cleaners that visit regularly, making sure that we're sort of like communicating as well as we can. If they do have any existing issues and things, it's just making sure that, okay, it's not that we can fix it straight away, because also it's not possible all the time.
Even if there is no update, update them. that there's no update.
Like, we've always liked the phrase like that we've heard before of like world-class basics, and that is something that we do really, really well.
Imagine like somebody letting you know that they've took the time out to let you know that there's no update. You're still proactively thinking about the situation. Obviously everybody has different opinions and different ways of being a portfolio manager, but that's what makes it, you know, nice for the tenants, because they get to know you as a person, you're not just a robot.
A lot of things come into it, but it's just making sure that our existing housemates are sort of happy and safe and enjoying where they live.